Welcome back to Shaving with HeadBlade. Real quick unboxing. Got this in yesterday. It happens. Okay. There was a sticker on there at one point. See that? I'll get that off with a polish though. Case in good shape. No dents, no dings. Just needs to be cleaned. Pull that out. Yes, it's a McCore 37C HD. And somebody's already done me a favor. See how this is all dark? When these were first made by McCore, they had a lacquer on them that they put on the handles to protect the handles. But the lacquer turned white with use and water. It was not a good lacquer and it peeled off. You can see spots of it where it's clear chrome or it turned black. The bottom unscrews, the top comes off. It'll go on my ultrasonic cleaner after I scrub it with some toothpaste to see if I can get a lot of that black off of there first. Yeah, that's the lacquer that came off. These were made by McCore. It's now their 37C HD. They have the 39C, which is a longer, thinner handle. The short, fatter handle is the 37. The 39 is long and thin handle. They were made for Hofwitz, Kohl's, Lunawerk, which is Lunawerk, Adams. All the Adams razors were made by McCore, even their slant, of course. A&F Company, Brummel, Brumml, and there's one of those for sale right now. If you want one of the rarest of these, is the Brummel. It's for sale right now on eBay for $150. Straight up purchase, no bidding, no nothing. Just straight up buy it for $150. Put it in your watch list and see if they come back with a lower offer. Or send them an email or contact seller and offer them whatever, 120, 125, whatever. See if they'll come down some. But they're one of the rarest ones. And they made for other companies, but nobody knows what companies. But there's just so many of them out there. They made these for multitudes of companies. And you can see in the case, see where it's got two slots. Those were for chromed or silver blade banks. I'll just pick up a couple of unmarked or Gillette, whatever, silver blade banks to put in there at some future point. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just let it ride as is. But I got to see if I can get this handle. You can see there's a lot of dirt in it. So you see by the color. Get it back to shiny. But I think I paid $67 for this with shipping and tax and everything, which is a little high, but Kohl's is one of the lesser found ones out there. Seems like everybody and their brother has a Hofwitz. And like I said before, I saw that one McCore that was in a case like this that had the two blade banks, and I went to sleep at night. It was $138, and I woke up in the morning and I'd had an offer sent to me from the seller to sell it for $70. And I was like, okay, so for $70, yeah, I'm going to jump on that. And I went to jump on it, and it was somebody, I wasn't the only one they sent that offer to, they sent it to somebody else too, and that other person, or other, yeah, at least one other person jumped on it and bought it for the $70, which I don't blame them at all. I was gonna buy it for 70 because you don't see the McCours in this kind of case. All right, be right back with the head shave. Hang on. All right, excuse me. Today's soap, a DJ sample he sent me, A&E, Ariana Evans, St Barts. It blends lime, coconut, and rum, and it's inspired by Creed Virgin Island water. It's a good scent. It's a good light scent, and I figured it would be good because it was warm out today, and 10 minutes ago I thought I needed an arc. It was raining so hard, I swear it was almost like I had to change my dog's name to Toto and pretend I was in Kansas. I thought we were going to be gone. It was raining that hard. I thought there was going to be a tornado coming. It was horrible. You couldn't hear yourself think. It was hitting the roof so hard. Mobile home, they get like that. For aftershave, we're going to use Florida water because it's like fresh citrus scent. For razor, the ATX, this is the HeadBlade ATX, I believe, or it's the Moto. I can never remember which one's which. It's either the ATX or the Moto. It's the one with a single wheel, single ball for the front wheel. Sue me. All right, hang on a second. Get my notes situated. A page and some today on what's going on. It's nothing big. Just something you probably don't ever think about. Because why would you? And yes, this is the same brush I used yesterday on my head shave, or my face shave. It's my Haryali handle. This is a good handle. It's good and heavy. It's a nice solid handle, and that's the reason I wanted to change the knot out in it, because the handle was really nice on it, but the knot in it just sucked because it had that big glue blob right in the middle, and it just ruined the knot. So I put the Badger in it, and it was sitting here drying still from yesterday. It was dry, but I gotta use. Did you hear how heavy that was? Did you hear that? That was it hitting the side of. This is my link idea. It's a ceramic imitation of the Captain's Choice. It's got the swirls in the bottom of it. Yeah, exactly. Anyways. Let me do these first. Let me do the ears first. Okay. Back to front is with the grain because your hair grows from the back of your head towards the front if you've got hair. That is. I like these. They're kind of nifty. Remind you of being a little kid sitting on the floor playing with your Matchbox cars. Because, you know, when you were 5 and 6, you didn't have a care in the world. Everything was great and groovy. Haven't heard that term in a while, have you? Groovy? But, because one of the stupidest things I ever said when I was a kid is, I can't wait to grow up. Well, let me tell you what. That was not the frickin' joy I thought it was going to be. Because I don't know how many of you agree with me, but adulting can suck hard. Go back to those days of carefree, nothing to worry about, but what I'm going to play with next. and having to go to bed early because mom and dad want some alone time with no screaming kid running around. Those were the days, huh? And why don't they let people call and pay your bills? Huh? Why? If somebody wants to call in and pay my bills, fucking let them. Don't make them prove it's me calling. If somebody wants to call in, prove it. Don't prove it. I don't want them to prove it. Just let them pay. Please, let them pay. Let them pay. Let them pay. Especially nowadays, right? I got more shit going on with mom again. They're going to send her home Monday. She still can't climb stairs, but they're going to send her home anyways. And I just got a notice in the mail about her Social Security. They are docking her February's payment. She's not getting a payment in February for her Social Security because she was in a facility all of the month of December. So they're not giving her money for February. And I told her about that, which was my mistake, and all I've had is phone calls all day long complaining about it. It's like there's nothing you can do about it. You can complain till you're blue in the face. It's the U.S. government. The U.S. government says it's our money, we're giving it to you, and we decided we're not going to give it to you, even though it was her money from when she worked that she put into the system, and she's supposed to get it back in the retirement, but because of the way the government operates, it's not your money anymore. Lying, cheating, dirty bastards. Excuse me. I hate the government. I don't hate government. I hate our government to what it has become. It's become a den of thieves and crooks. Period. Government was never supposed to be a 40-year career. Congress decided to limit the president to 2 terms of office because no person should have that much power. Excuse me, what about you bastards that have been in there for 40 years? Hello? But they'll never, ever agree to vote themselves term limits. Never. It should have been put in the Constitution in the beginning. But our forefathers didn't see today's type of government where they had to be seated almost all year. They only saw the 2-3 months that they used to do where you went in, you did your service, you went back home to your plantation, your store, your newspaper, whatever you were doing back home, and you worked that, and then 2 or 3 months a year you went in and played government official. They never foresaw it becoming what it is today. And if we had a time machine, that would be the thing to go back and tell them to do, is write in term limits for everybody. And also not to make California a state, but we won't go there. Every time I hear news about California, I'm just hoping it's the big one and it's broke off and sank into the ocean. But if you live in California, please move. Please. It's a cesspool. But don't take your cesspool politics to someplace else and want to vote that shit in. We got that from New Yorkers. They hate their politics up north, so they come down here and vote for the same shit. It's like, you want to keep your politics like that? You go back to New York, dirty bastards. Anyways, I'm not going to rant. Because on January 25th in 1840, Charles Wilkes was the first to identify Antarctica as a new continent. He was an American naval exploration. He was on a American naval expedition, and they discovered they didn't discover Antarctica. They discovered it as a continent. They discovered how big it was, and they knew it was a new continent. Antarctica is the 5th largest continent of all the continents. Out of all 7, it's the 5th largest. It's 40% larger than Europe. Ooh, this is nice and warm. I had a lot of soap in here. I might only get 2 passes. But I still got some soap I can whip up. Alright. I think the brush is eating it. No, not really. Oh, I got a big glob on my glasses, don't I? brush was still really wet and I wrung it out. Okay, let me pause and fix this shit. Okay. Jeez. I gotta go across the grain now. I want to do these sections here because I want to get my glasses back on so I can see something besides a cream looking shadow in the mirror. Okay. Alright, like I said, Antarctica, 40% larger than Europe. Has an area of 14,200,000 kilometers, or 5,500,000 square miles. That's a lot of square mileage. Which is slightly less than 1.5 times the area of the United States. 1.5 times. Not 1 time. So it's bigger than the United States. It's 1.5 times, slightly less than 1.5 times larger. Most of Antarctica is covered by the Antarctic ice sheet, which is average thickness of 1.9 kilometers or 1.2 miles. That's some thick ass ice. Over a mile thick. Antarctica, on average, is the coldest, driest, windiest of the continents. About 70% of the world's freshwater reserves are frozen in Antarctica. Not the Arctic, Antarctica. Which, if it all melted, would raise global sea levels by 60 meters or 200 feet. That's a lot of ice. That's a lot of flipping water, guys. Raise the sea levels around the world 200 feet. That's a lot. Antarctica holds the record for the lowest measured temperature on Earth at minus 89.2 degrees Celsius or minus 128.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Minus 128. You think minus 10 in Wisconsin with the wind blowing is bad? Try minus 128.6. That's cold enough that if you whipped it out to take a whiz, it would freeze inside your pecker. It would. You wouldn't even be able to get it out. It'd be frozen. I've added soap to this and it's gone again. Alright, we're just going to do this. This brush is really holding a lot of water too. It's got a lot of water in it. It's soaking up the soap and everything else. Alright. We're good. Come here. Bringing my glasses out. Alright. Front to back is with the grain, or against the grain, excuse me. We're just going to go with this. We're good. It's slick as snot, so as long as you got slickness, you can shave. Now, the coastal regions of Antarctica can reach 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer. Summer highs of 50 degrees on the coast. It sounds like a summer temperature in Canada, doesn't it? 50 degrees? 10 degrees Celsius? Native species of Antarctica of animals are mites, nematodes, penguins, seals, tardigrades, and where vegetation does occur, it's mostly in the form of lichen and moss. Because it's actually so windy there, you can't get any. It's hard to get seeds to take root. The ice sheets of Antarctica were probably first seen in 1820 during a Russian expedition. The first formal landing was by a Norwegian team in 1895. In the early 20th century, there were few expeditions into the interior of the continent. British explorers were the first to reach the magnetic South Pole in 1909, and the geographic South Pole was first reached in 1911 by Norwegian explorers. Got to the back again. Antarctica is governed by 30 countries. 30 of us. All of which are parties of the 1959 Antarctic Treaty System. According to the terms of the treaty, military activity, mining, nuclear explosions, nuclear waste disposal are all prohibited in Antarctica. They're trying to keep it pristine and natural without us ruining shit. Tourism, fishing, and research are the main human activities in and around Antarctica. During the summer months, about 5,000 people reside in Antarctica in research stations. A figure that drops to about 1,000 in the wintertime because, it's so freaking cold. There are numerous lakes and rivers under the ice cap in Antarctica that we can't get to explore. They're too far down. Antarctica is a polar desert. With little precipitation. Untie my tongue. I'm still slick as snot up here, guys. So just hit my trouble areas. It receives an average equivalent of about 150 millimeters, 6 inches of water per year, mostly in the forms of snow. The interior is drier and receives less than 50 millimeters, 2 inches per year, whereas the coastal areas receive the most rain or snow at 200 millimeters or 8 inches. So it's an average of, they say, 6 inches. Heavy snowfalls are common on the coastal portion of Antarctica, where snowfall of up to 1.22 meters or 48 inches in 48 hours has been recorded. 4 feet of snow in 2 days. Go shovel your driveway after that. All good. Try it off now. During the summer, more solar radiation reaches the surface of the South Pole than the equator because of the 24 hours of sunlight received each day. Yeah, their summers are 24 hours of sunlight. There's no nighttime in the summer. The most continuous population that Antarctica has ever had that we know of, because was from 1789 to 1966, excuse me. And that was anywhere from 200 to 2,000 people residing in Antarctica year-round. And it ended in 1966 because the whaling stopped. They were sealers and whalers that lived there from 1789 to 1966. There are 70 permanent and seasonal research stations on the continent. The United States McMurdo station is the largest, capable of housing 1,000 people. The British Antarctic Survey has 5 major research stations on Antarctica, one of which is completely portable. The Belgian Princess Elizabeth Station is one of the most modern stations and the first to be carbon neutral. Argentina, Australia, Chile, Russia also have a large scientific presence in Antarctica. Yeah, when whaling ended, the permanent residents, which were whalers and sealers, ended too. Now it's all scientists and shit. I don't need this. It was a cartridge razor. I just brought it down just in case. Go with witch hazel. Fascinating place though. But, and the theory is, and we can't prove it, that under the ice is also what used to be green land. It used to house so much green that when the Earth rotated and it put Antarctica on the South Pole and away from warmth all the time, and it froze over, is when. But supposedly it was one of the most luscious green places on Earth prior to that. And if we could ever get down below all the ice, we would probably find fossilized plants and shit frozen in ice. Florida water. I mean, what the hell? Captain America was buried there, wasn't he? Anyways. I'm just checking this spot right here. It looks good. The spot I couldn't get anything to grow when I had hair, but now that I don't have hair, it doesn't want to trim. Alright. Quivq, I think is the name of the drug. I saw an ad for this tonight. Lindsay, what was the American downhill skier, the blonde chick? Lindsay something. She's doing an ad for this. It's for insomnia. You take it for insomnia. It helps you go to sleep. One of the side effects was temporary muscle impaired muscle movement while being alert and conscious. So in other words, you could be wide awake, conscious and alert what was going on, but you'd be freaking paralyzed. Temporary. It's just temporary though. Don't worry about it. It's just temporary. And another side effect was a temporary loss of memory, which could include walking, driving, or eating. So in other words, you could go whoa and go driving around the freaking town and come back and not remember a damn thing of what you did, or probably that you were even doing it. Or you could go raid the refrigerator and eat everything in it and not know what happened when you regain consciousness. It's like, what the hell? I think I'd rather have the insomnia. You know what I mean? You can't sleep, go beat off. You know, I'm sorry, just anything, but you know, some of these drugs, it's like the one they had years ago where anal leakage was one of the side effects. Excuse me, that's worse than the freaking disease that you're trying to prevent. We're not going to go down that road either. That's another road we could go down for days. A patient cured is an income lost. Yeah, that's the medical profession nowadays, or excuse me, pharmaceutical profession. Anyways, they don't want to cure you. They just want to alleviate your symptoms. They don't want to cure you because then they lose your income stream. Anyways, it's a good head shave. I like these. Like I said, they're fun. You pretend you're a little kid playing on the ground if you're not yakking into the camera about some other shit and going on a rant here and there. But other than that, that's just me. Always been that way. I've always been critical. Always been like that. I will not stop. I'm almost 60 now. I'm 59. I am not going to stop. I am going to state my mind no matter how many people hate it. All right, guys, take care out there. Appreciate it. Be nice to everyone because I'm not going to be. Anyways, don't forget the affiliate link. When it hits 25 in that account, I will get a $25 gift card, give it back to you guys, which is about the nicest thing I do. And don't forget to check out the 4 channels I'll list in the description box. Give them a like and a sub. Let's help boost their numbers. Normally, we're over 30 minutes already. Sorry about that. I'd like to yak. All right. Love talking to you guys. Have fun. Take care out there. Done with the babbling fat guy in the camera. You're in the chair next. Happy shaves out there, guys.